cliffside. My pronouns are they, them. And this is cliffside permaculture. What are you doing up there, Crazy? Well, today I think we're gonna have lawnmowers galore, but we've got some very nice flowers happening that are new. These are a historic type of poppy. I do believe they have a name, but to me they are simply the poppies that were given to me from down the street. Back in the day, there was a florist living down there, so that's part of why I noticed that I have one of my first honeyberries visible right here. There's the lawnmower. And there might be more in there, possibly, but hopefully I'll get to taste at least one. The Saskatoons are developing well on both of the bushes here, and then the cherries are starting to get bigger. All those little green dots all over the tree in the middle. We're coming up on the season for being past frost date, but we're still at risk. The 15th is last frost date here, but frankly that doesn't mean a whole lot. It could frost at any time through June. So a lot of times I use these to cover plants that I put outside in that, like, quote, last frost date range where it still could do something on me. And that I just push the bottom into the soil and it grows up through. I did want to show you just how damp. Hello, Mushies. How damp my trench is making these wood chips. Just, you know, like half an inch down. So those are going to be really good water holding capacity. Last night I came out and there was a raccoon in here. It doesn't have the door or the roof yet, and the raccoon always wants the compost, wants to dig through and see what's good in there. Trash pandas, right? So yes, Rooster Dooster, you're obnoxious. So I do still want to do the door, which involves some dremeling. And I would like to figure out how to fence in the roof a bit. That'd be nice. Over here, I've been keeping an eye on these little strawberries. Can you see them in there? Yeah, you can see them in there. Look at that. And on the flowers starting to open on the raspberries. That means we might have fruit on those before too long too. So it's getting to be approaching berry season, I suppose. I'm hoping that, I think I've noticed that the munching on things critters are attacking these less, and I think it's because of my mess on the sill. I went through and moved a bunch of stuff and dug a bunch of stuff out of, well, it's not up in here, it's actually, these are from down here. And they were embedded in the walkway. And as I went through the walkway, I found all kind of things, and I just stuck them up here to get them out of my way. Like a turtle that does not have a house key in it anymore. You know, that kind of thing. And I think that this will at least protect this side of the thornless raspberries, because the creatures are going to be uncomfortable while trying to stand here and eat all the leaves off like they typically do. I should do a short on it as a standalone at some point, but I did want to point out, and I need to add more wood chips in here because I don't want it losing much more water. It's been like this for a while and they're starting to curl even with all the rain. But my cuttings did leaf out. So these are Saskatoon cuttings, and I'm really hoping that those will turn into fully developed Saskatoons as a different method of approach to propagating Saskatoons or service berries. Take a branch and jam it in the ground. Now, something I'm learning as I do cuttings is that my instinct is way too long of a cutting. I really need to stick to like 5-6 inches max, and I keep doing like 10 or 12. So I guess that's a you live and you learn kind of moment, huh? I'm living, so I guess I'm learning. There's another really spectacular new addition trying to open up here. I'm sorry about the wind. I hope it's not too much in the microphone. You see this? This is gonna be pretty, huh? A friend of mine brought that from Missouri for me. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Thank you, Tina. And we've got a whole bunch more new shoots of elderberry coming up, in addition to all the frickin' trees that keep popping up. And I found another American basswood seedling. They're so funny looking. The one that's easiest to get to is over here. Aren't they funny looking? They look like little hands. Kind of, sort of. Do you see it? I think yeah, there you go. And then the basswood leaf is finally coming up on this one. So I'm planning on letting those get a little bit established, like till they have good roots, and then transplanting them. That's the plan anyway. We'll see what happens. I am blocking the breeze with my torso, so hopefully the wind isn't too bad. I wasn't really thinking it was. The grapes have buds but no flowers yet still. I don't know when grapes flower out. We had grapes when I was young, up until I was about 14, and I never really paid that much attention to the flowers on them. I'm really excited that my thimbleberry came back. At least one of them did. So hopefully that can get fully established. I went ahead and put sticks over it to kind of help protect it. And I can't wait to see, these are Rosa Sharon, when my Maypop's gonna come up. These are just weed Rosa Sharons. A lot of this is goji, but yeah, my Maypop is, I've heard that it's one of the slowest to emerge. Like, it comes up out the ground way later than most things, so, oh geez. And this is another elm tree. Frankly, I have enough of those. They're everywhere. What you? What you? What do you? What's that? Is that another thimbleberry? I think it might be. That's awesome. And then these are both a really decorative aster, which I honestly haven't figured out if they're native or not. All sorts of weeds. Vinca minor, Rosa Sharon, and then this one was Japanese honeysuckle. So, if you're wondering. Oh, good, we can finally get to see what spiderwort looks like. These are edible. Usually they don't bloom till June, but these ones down on the cliff are Because of the solar gain of a south-facing slope, they are a good month ahead. And they're deer resistant enough that they're a food crop that does well down here. So you can really hear the highway down here. So I just pick them at the base and chop them up real good and put them in the skillet. They're quite delicious. They are mucilaginous, also known as gooey, like this mucusy stuff, like when you cut okra and it's all gooey. So you have to cook it like it's okra. Want to get down here a little farther still. Got all those little logs up there now, so I can do quite a bit down here as far as advancing progress on the hillside. I really think it's time to put wire cages around the taller tree tubes, especially this one. Although oh look, something's eating the leaves as soon as they exit, because remember there was that one coming out. So maybe it does need that. How far up have you gotten, my friend? Oh, that's like 2/3 up. Oh, maybe we'll leave the tree tube on then, because the deer definitely want to mess with things on average. Down here the deer even eat sunchokes, which is pretty much not something that happens, but what happens is they sleep through here and then they wake up and it's like, oh, I'm hungry, breakfast, basically. This is an elm this time of year. Alternating leaves. Those weird little wingedy things, which were holding the seeds previously. Speckly. The young wood, I think, is easier to tell. The bark on the older wood can vary quite a bit, and also it's really hard to tell with older wood. Fun fact. A lot of times you need to wait for fruit to be able to determine the difference between elm and hackberry. This is actually really cool. Let me see how close I can get the two of them to each other. There you go. See how close those are? This is hackberry, and that one's an elm, an American elm. So yeah, sometimes you do need to wait. Even the young wood has speckles on both. Sometimes you do need to wait and see what kind of seeds or fruits or flowers they do to know for sure. There are differences, but they're subtle, and it takes a good amount of studying. So that's the cliffside today. The river's been fast flowing, you can tell, because it's so brown, it's stirred up all the mud. And I haven't decided what I'm doing with my evening yet. I just got out here and was like, oh, pretty things. So new flowers are an iris, a poppy, and a whole bunch of spiderwort. So thank you so much for visiting the cliffside. This has been Permaculture. Take care. Bye.